For all your hemp wellness needs, information, products, parties, and merch, visit thebudplug.com. Promote your brand here at Viral Hip Hop News. Email me, Sam Ant at thehiphopnews.com. No, wait, let's go.
The Hip Hop Uncensored Podcast. I'm your brother, O God, from Hip Hop News Uncensored, and sitting across from me is my co-host.
What up, y'all? It's your man, Sam Ant, CEO of Viral Hip Hop News. You're in the building for a very special edition of the Hip Hop Uncensored Podcast. We got a special guest in the building. Now, I know a lot of y'all done paid attention to what we got going on and what this brother right here has going on. So y'all seen a lot of what happened last year, and a lot of y'all didn't expect this to happen.
Yeah.
But we brothers, and we do things the right way over here. So we have our man Kwame Brown on the podcast. How you doing today, family?
Good, man. How you doing?
We're doing well, man, and appreciate you coming on. Thank you for having a conversation that we had privately. And like I said, man, let's just run it back real quick, because a lot of people, they watched what we went through. Some people enjoyed what we all went through. Some people hit us up privately and said, yo, y'all got to stop this shit. Chill out. This ain't good for the community. This ain't good for you brothers. That we all respect everybody's opinion and platform. This ain't good for anything.
Right.
So never thought this would happen. We definitely tried to reach out and wasn't successful in doing so. But then, you know what I mean, throughout just, I guess, divine intervention, me and you had an opportunity to have a conversation. It was a dope conversation. I appreciated it. And now we're here, brother. So the floor is yours, man. Kwame, how you feeling, brother? And please speak on whatever you would like right now.
Well, I just wanted to start off. I know I apologize to you behind the scenes. We both shared apologies, and I think it's important for the culture. And I just wanted to start off by apologizing to God. I don't think I got super disrespectful, but still, I think people could have an opinion without somebody having to attack them back. That's what I preach. So I just wanted to make sure I practice what I preach and go ahead and apologize to you for that. So,
Definitely accepted. And if I offended you in any way, apologize as well, brother.
But you know, sometimes when they were attacking me so much behind the scenes, and then you know, there's so much that I don't speak about because I put a lot of jokes in the things that I say. But people who know, they know. So it's like, that's why I try to tell people, don't attack a celebrity that try to speak out or speak up for you, because they've been in rooms and they know things you don't know. And sometimes they can't really say everything. And the ones that do, you can kind of see what happens. So I kind of disguise a lot of truth in a joke.
Indeed. Sure. We appreciate you, brother. So let's get right to it. So the initial reasoning and why all of that started was we had a conversation with Dr. Boyce, who we've had conversation with before. And we had a conversation on the two of you guys back and forth. So right now, I would just like to offer you the same platform to express your grievances toward Dr. Boyce and what was the reasoning behind why you didn't appreciate what he said.
Well, there's a sector of us as Black folks that we hold each other down. I call it the go along, get along gang. Boyce Watkins and some of the people that deals with Boyce Watkins, they only think a small portion of us are smart enough to make it. And some people will argue that point to the T. And I guess he's one of those guys, because he could have easily pulled me to the side and had a conversation with me, and I would have spoke to him about anything that he had a problem with what I was saying. But what he did was he came here and told you guys that I don't have someone above me and I don't have someone that can control me. And that's one of the things that I've talked about with this quote unquote go along, get along gang. They're mad at people with large platforms. We call them influencers. And there's no offense to Cardi B, but someone please explain to me, why was Cardi B, qualified to speak to Joe Biden? That's what they give our community. They use entertainers and celebrities when it's convenient. But if they say anything that can wake up the mind or get young people to stop killing each other or doing anything negative, they attack that person. And they use us to do it. If you notice how we disagree with each other is not like any other race. No one disagrees with a white man's opinion by calling him, comparing him to a terrorist, Jim Jones. But the first thing this brother did to me is compare me to a terrorist without having a conversation with me. And I think that's weird. When everything that I've said, no one contested. They talk about the cursing, they talk about the jokes. I am the first Black #1 draft pick in NBA history. If I was a female, they would have statues of me across America. If I was joined in the right groups, they would have statues of me. but they told a story of me in a way where it looks like a black man's life is all about basketball. Name any other player in the history of the NBA had a high school analyst go to high schools and colleges and do a stand-up style comedic routine about a guy who wasn't even playing basketball anymore. And that's the depiction that we do to each other. If you look at the way they navigate around sports with black men, they lay the law down when it comes to black men. Look at what happened with Brett Favre and this scandal in Mississippi. It's barely ran on TV.
Right.
So I just saw that, and I saw that, man, they use basketball, they use music, they use the things in our culture that we care so much about, and they use our figureheads and our celebrities to tear us down.
Right. At any point in time, do you try to reach out to Boyce at all? And do you think you guys probably could have, if you had a conversation, it would have went as far as it went behind the scenes?
No, I mean, I'm very respectful to respectful elders. I mean,
right.
I like the elders that take you up under their wing and kind of guide you because they're our roadmap. But that wasn't guiding anyone. That's getting up here, giving your opinion about someone that you've never met. But him having the platform that he had to make that type of assessment as if he was some sort of psychologist or anything like that, to me, it was not only irresponsible, but it was unfair to me and my brand. Same thing with Charlamagne the God. The first time I made history, I'm in the Guinness Book of World Records. I'm the first black #1 draft pick. That's never been done. But because I think different, I speak different. You've never seen a #1 draft pick say some of the things that I've said. But they control the narrative. They control your likeness. So when they control your likeness, they can call you a bust. And that takes away all validity. People say on Instagram all the time, why would we listen to this guy? He a bust. So it's not just about basketball, it's the labels.
Appreciate that. And hopefully you two brothers can get together. I mean, you'll have every right to have your opinion, and no one's trying to steer that in any way. Hopefully you two brothers can get together behind the scenes and make that work, because two good brothers, and that needs to happen, hopefully. But let's transition, man, because you were the #1 draft pick out of high school, the first black man to do that, first male to do that, period. And we see what's going on in the NBA right now, and we like to go against the grain here on this show. So currently what's going on with Kyrie Irving, I mean, we could drop our perspective on it, but I would like to hear yours in regards to what he's currently going through. We see what he went through last year with that whole situation. We ain't even going to bring that up. And now we see what he's currently going through, referencing a movie that he spoke about being a part of his heritage when he went and researched his name and what it meant. He went and typed it into Amazon. This movie came up. He felt a connection to it. He shared it. And now we're here with all this mess. He's being called an anti-Semite as well. What's your thought on that, being a part of the NBA, knowing that circle, knowing how that situation works and what they're doing to Kyrie Irving right now? What's your thoughts on that?
Kyrie is too outspoken for how popular that he is. That's the long and short of it. You can see with the whole jab thing with the vaccines, they attack Kyrie because he has a connection to the kids. He's this grandmama thing. He did what Larry Johnson did. Larry, what's the little character he plays, Uncle Drew or whatever? These kids love him in a different level. So anytime you have the masses that listen to you, that's going to be a dangerous thing. They only want to utilize that for what they want to utilize it for. If you notice, basketball has become more political. And as long as you say a certain thing, we don't want you to shut up and dribble. But if you don't say a certain thing, you're going to have to shut up and dribble, or they're going to take your money.
Yeah. For sure. So ultimately, we see a lot of people, even Kanye West, it's like when they speak up. And what I said, why don't they engage what Kanye West actually said? They're scared to kind of engage what he really said because it was truth to it. They keep saying he's crazy, he's that. So kind of tied it into the Kanye West situation as well. How do you feel about that? People calling him anti-Semitic.
Well, see, I'm not really, usually they put labels on things to cut the conversation off. So it's not surprising that they not dealing with the context of what he said, but they put a label out in front of it. But I'm not educated on what's anti-Semitic and what's not. But I just asked the question with the whole Kanye thing, why won't they just debate him? Why won't they just talk to him about it and just have it in an open forum? instead of silencing someone or taking away all their wealth. To me, you almost proving this point.
Real talk.
Absolutely. Now you also brought up Brett Favre, and we've heard about it, and then we haven't heard about it. It came and it went fast as shit. I mean, we've been focusing on Kanye now Kyrie, and everything else is going on to entertain us and distract us. But the fact of the matter is, this man had a very illegal act going on where he embezzled millions and millions of dollars of money and gave it to somebody else that took it from somebody else, our people in particular. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I know he's sitting back happy because he know that we don't like each other. So, you don't see. Do you see the white media attacking Brett Favre like most people are attacking Kanye?
Nope.
I mean, it's almost like they're dragging Kanye's peers out to all like not stand next to him, get away from him, disavow him, and call him, crazy. They just lining guys up to do it. They didn't do that to Brett Favre. And that's the thing with us. We just don't stick together. We spent $1 trillion last year. You can't cancel Kanye if black folks stand behind him. If we buy his products alone, you can't cancel him. But the thing about it is they make sure we cancel each other.
Yeah.
We cancel each other, Same way that the Asian stores, they can, treat our women crazy. I've seen it online where they treat our women crazy. They go right back and shop with them. As if black women can't do nails or we can't do our own nails. Like, I don't know. It's always seemed like we got to outsource our money in order to get better quality.
Yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about your career in basketball a little bit.
Let's do it.
We all seen, you played with Mike. How was that whole experience? I don't know if you had that question. I'm sure you have. How was that whole experience, not only on the court, but off the court, what people consider the best basketball player ever?
Well, he was the best basketball player ever at one time, but he just held on a little bit past his prime. And Michael Jordan has that rock star Michael Jackson effect. God rest his soul. You kind of can't tell him no. So if he wanted something done, if he wanted a trade to happen, and he was told no, then heads are going to roll. And everybody around Michael Jordan knows that. People who are starting to see The Last Dance, they kind of see he's a regular everyday guy. I'm not here to bash him or nothing like that because he gave me an opportunity. But at the end of the day, my pick was supposed to be traded for Elton Brand.
Wow. How you were a kid coming into the NBA, you came from South Carolina, right?
Yes, sir. I left South Carolina. I grew up in I was born in Charleston. I grew up in Moncks Corner in UG, South Carolina. And then we went to Michigan for a year and then down to Brunswick.
So you from not that, let me answer your question, but so you from the same town as Charlemagne, pretty much?
Yes, unfortunately.
Oh, man.
So now you came from very humble beginnings. I remember you coming into the NBA. You were a quiet brother. You weren't real brash. You weren't out there. You know what I'm saying? You weren't the typical NBA player that we were accustomed to seeing at that time. What was your thoughts like when you were doing these interviews and you were beginning to see a narrative and it was stared in a different light? Because I'm sure coming from where you came from and then going to where you went as the first player to any NBA coming out of high school to be drafted first, that had to be a proud moment for you and your family. But then hearing on the other end, all the shit that you may have heard and dealt with, how did that affect you mentally? How did that make you trust the media? How did that kind of just overall affect your career at that time?
Well, I learned early on that the media plays off of narratives and victimhood because they knew about my story and they could have told it as one victory of a young man who persevered and uplifted and helped his whole family. But what they did was they wanted me to tell a story about my father being in prison. And my mother said no to that. And I guess my YouTube page has been under attack, but I know the young lady who she's not so young now, but it's a powerful young woman that you cannot tell no to. And once we didn't want to tell that story of the single Black woman who raised up a son and make that story more prevalent, then some of the news stories started to become negative. And if you notice, a lot of NBA players, they're starting to tell their story. They catch us in sound bites. They never let you hear fully our complete thought. They chop up what we say to make it sound something totally different. And it's a sad thing because most celebrities are most of these quote unquote celebrities, because I don't believe in that, but most of these guys who persevered through situations like mine, they have a lot that they can teach other people. Not because we're the smartest thing, but just because you have to be dedicated. You have to do the same thing over and over again. You can't be at the parties. You can't be with your homeboys. Sometimes the girl that you like gonna be with somebody else because you focused on a goal. And instead of them listening to that on from a celebrity, they would rather take us to go give out turkeys and be these symbols of hope instead of actually touching the people and telling them how you can do the same thing we did.
Bob, speaking to somebody you had like going back and forth with last year, Stephen A. Smith.
Mm-hmm.
What happened with you guys? And what's your thoughts on him overall in the media?
I think he was paid. I think he found a niche. Stephen A. changed how we talked about sports. It was never, sports was never talked about like this. Jalen Rose tried to stop it when it first started. Stephen A. basically, since his career started, bullying or disrespecting and making jokes on a teenager. And he's taught other people to do that. I've always been the type of person that whatever you could do that I can't do, I respect you for it. You know, you might not be better than other people, but I still got to respect the fact that I can't do what it is that you do. When you bring Stephen A., he looks like the regular, average, everyday Joe Blow. And now these guys are now being able to disrespect guys in restaurants and things like that because Stephen A. made that seem like it was okay to do. Nobody else commentated the game like Stephen A. until he started that.
So what was the point that made you go back and forth? He like a video, I think, of you. So what triggered him to do that? Did you say something to him first? Did he say something to you first?
No, it started with Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes. I saw the All the Smoke podcast, and my name came up on three separate occasions. I think one time with Gilbert Arenas, and then another time with the owner of the Lakers. What's her name?
Jeannie Buss.
Jeannie Buss, yeah. So, and they tried to make it seem like I wasn't even in the trade. They want to make me so insignificant. This is how they get other black men to disrespect other black men to the point where the factual trade was myself, Javaris Crittenden, Aaron McKee, and who else? I think that was it. We all got traded to Memphis Grizzlies for Paul Gasol. And she couldn't even finish a factual statement because they wanted to make it a joke about me being the worst number one draft pick ever. And I haven't played basketball at that point in over, 8, 9, 10 years. But that's the role of these guys. If you look at how much money a person like my name has generated, you put my name in anywhere back from which Stephen A. started. Look at how many millions of views that one kid from the worst neighborhood in Georgia. Look at how much money I've generated those networks.
That's a fact.
Let me ask you this, because it seems like a lot of NBA players have a lot of fun off your name as well. But were those the type of relationship you had during your time in the NBA and leaving the NBA? Or how was your relationships with some of these players during your time there? Playing
that's why I know they get paid to do it. And that's why I disrespected them like I did over the internet. Because Steven Jackson had a club, Cream Ultra Lounge in Atlanta. He used to always call me to come up to the club. Like, I had his number. That's how I knew. I didn't just go straight to the internet. I called his phone. And so it's like, it's ridiculous to have these guys talk like this for a paycheck. But me and Steven Jackson, I hung out with him and his former wife. And my baby mother, we used to all hang out in Miami. So the fact that he would get on TV and he would respond to me the way that he responded to me, it was a little crazy.
Right. You got something on that?
Yeah. How was was there anybody in the media or any player within the NBA that you had a strong relationship with, and do you have that relationship still?
Yeah. I mean, Allen Iverson, Aaron McKee, almost anybody. Rasheed Wallace, Richard Hamilton. Richard Hamilton brought a family first jersey, and I asked him, I said, yo, man, I admire that. I like that. I'm not trying to mimic you or copy you. You mind if he was like, I'll give you my jewelry. Go get another one. So I don't have relationships with people in real life like they try to depict it. And that's what's sad, that they do this I know that they do it for a paycheck. You know, Allen Iverson came on my live. That wasn't me setting it up. That's just him coming to Atlanta saying, come up here, big fella. And that was that. And so the way that they just want to make my life seem like some tragic story and this tragic end, it's because they can't monetize college kids that don't go to college. And if you look at the last couple of years, some of the best players have been one and done players. Yeah. LeBron James didn't go to college. He's going to go down as one of the best. Kobe Bryant didn't go to college. Kevin Durant basically spent 6 months on the college campus. Mm-hmm. Whatever he could do, he can already do. Yeah. All of these players are great. Before, when players came out of college, they was up under this old rule where you had to prove yourself so you didn't get to play. So look at Jermaine O'Neal. Before Jermaine O'Neal became this all-star in Indiana, he was sitting the bench. And they were making up excuses why he couldn't play. And then as soon as he got the opportunity, look at what he did. So it's like they're afraid of these young players because of how long they can play, first of all. I made 13 years, and I probably could have got a few more, but I don't do disrespect very well. So I'm like, I'm good. You know, I had my real estate. I walked away. But there's another side to it that the things that I've said on the internet that they don't want to get to is the fact that these organizations and these management companies are stealing from all of these players. Majority of these players are becoming broke after they're done playing, and they're blaming it on poor money management and all of this. But some of these guys hire the smartest people in the game. Mm-hmm. They hire the people that you're supposed to hire, and they end up broke because a lot of these loans and a lot of these things that they're taking out to siphon money from these players, it's legal as well. Most of it, it's legally pimping these players.
So talk about, you coming, going out of you came out of high school, right? I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
Right out of high school, and you get picked by the NBA. You automatically have like financial advisors calling you, lawyers, accountants, or do you have to pick that up on your own? Let it just come out of
Now, the reason why I feel like it's a setup because 9 times out of 10, the management company that you go to comes through your agent. So typically the first couple of draft picks, they normally go to the top agents, and those agents normally hook them up with financial advisors. And my advice to them would be not to give your money to anybody. Start opening up different accounts and some bonds, and I wouldn't play the stock market. I would buy land. Like we have Grant Cardone has $2.3 billion in real estate. Why don't we have a large group of NBA players that own half of their city? It's the easiest thing in the world. When I was saving my money at the time, I wanted to do this while I was playing. I remember seeing paychecks of $250,000 every 2 weeks. And in my mind, I wanted to go buy land. I wanted to go buy subdivisions. And the reason why I was always coerced not to do it by my financial advisors. They would say, no, you're not going to have anybody there to take care of it. They're going to steal the money. It's almost like their biggest fear is for you to go out and buy the real estate and get into a game that these athletes can control everything. They wouldn't need to kneel. They wouldn't need to shout. They wouldn't need to do anything but buy up the property. And now you have tax easements. You have everything that you need to dang near control the city, because you have to deal with the movers and shakers in the cities, or they have to deal with you when you have the land.
Right. Now, I heard you talk about, I heard Kevin Garnett said that he got fleeced for money. Did you also get fleeced for money by an accountant or something like that as well?
Well, I can't speak on it for legal reasons. I'm on the gag order, but I can say this. Yes, I got some money taken from me, but any details I can't speak about. But it's a lot of us that happens to. And the overall narrative that they want to pin it on is that we're not financial literate. But my great granddaddy wasn't financial literate either. And he knew that you spend less than you take in, and you save some for taxes, and you buy land. He would always say they don't make no more land. And the money is in the land. If you have the land, you can always go get some money out of the land. And we don't work on owning anything, buildings or nothing. We go buy $502 million cars, and you can go buy a $2-3 million building. And it's just the culture has taught us to go to the strip club to go spend our money, and that's what it looks like to ball. Well, the white folks, they go buy buildings and they go buy planes and things like that with the money that's generated from their business. So they ball through their business and they ball through their business credit. And we haven't learned that, and we don't do that. We spend all of our money trying to look like we have money when we need to spend our money on things that's going to generate money.
Very well said.
Absolutely. No, that was something that definitely plagued us during our time and our generation. A lot of NBA players we see now are unfortunately succumb to that. But what do you think about the newer generation with all this information in the game that we're able to provide throughout platforms, and you former NBA players allowed to provide for the current NBA players? Do you think it's a little bit of a shift now? Do you think the NBA players are currently or starting to get the game? Or do you think it's just worse with them just still buying cars and all the bullshit?
I think it's worse because they're still giving their money away. They're still giving their money away to the very same people that they keep saying own and control everything. And what they don't know is banks are not designed to give you your money back. So go to a bank and tell them to give you all your money and watch how much red tape you got to go through to go get it.
Mm-hmm.
So the best thing you could do, great grandma wasn't wrong when she had a shoebox and it was up under her bed. It's just now it's a day and time where it's so dangerous to do that. But if I was you, I would spend your money on some type of safety deposit box or private security, whatever you got to do. But I wouldn't be giving my money to anybody.
Right. Now, you're a celebrity. I want to talk about hip hop because I seen you did a video on your channel on Takeoff. The Migos passed away. Condolences, to his family, friends.
Yeah, condolences.
You're a celebrity, been a celebrity, still are a celebrity. How does it feel to know that he passed away, and obviously passed away in a city like Houston? How does that feel? And knowing that, when you're a celebrity, you're out there, people ultimately know you, you don't really know them or what their intentions are to say. So you kind of expound on that.
I think some really smart people know how to create these social constructs that they get us to obey and follow. Because what that tells me is that we would kill Muhammad Ali if he was this quote unquote celebrity and alive and again today trying to be around us. That word is a division, because if you look at the way people talk about celebrities, the first thing people say when they get mad is, "I ain't no bitch ass celebrity. Don't try me like a celebrity." We've placed celebrities above us so much that when we get mad at them, if a celebrity talk to you like your brother would talk to you, your homeboy would talk to you, you ain't gonna let it go as easy as you should. You're gonna take it to heart because you're gonna look at it like, who is this nigga trying to look down on me and say something to me, when you should never look at another man like that in the first place. I don't believe in celebrities. I don't believe that MJ is a celebrity. I believe that he just played basketball better than me and most people on the planet. Right. We should appreciate him for that and that alone. I've seen confrontations go bad with him when people were disrespectful to him, all because they were overzealous, thinking that he owed them something. They would walk up to him, "Man, let me get grown men, man, let me get an autograph, man." And he would just be like, "No, I'm with a lady, or I'm speaking to somebody." And he would have old school principles. And I know that would make other men go crazy. They would say, "Oh, you think you all that?" And I've seen Oakley have to defend him physically because he stood on man principles. Like, "No, the way you approached me was disrespectful, so you're not getting an autograph. I don't even want to talk to you." And I think if we get back to just respecting a person, if he's with his daughter, if he's with his son, you shouldn't be running up on the no man thinking that he should break away from his family to give you some time. That word, I think it takes people outside of their respect, and they become a fanatic and not a fan. If I'm a fan of yours, I want to see you with your daughter, and I want your daughter to have as much time with you. So I'll salute the fact that I saw you, but hopefully I run into you again without your family. I'm not going to think so selfishly to run up on you with your kid, because that makes me a fanatic, or that's making your time with your kid seems like it's less than my importance than my time with mine. And that's not right. I believe most celebrities don't want to be celebrities. They wish that you guys would stop calling them celebrities, because the price of the bail is higher for a celebrity. What a female thinks that you're supposed to give them is higher when they think you're a celebrity. Like, it's a lot that comes with that. It's a lot of jealousy. It's a lot of animosity, when most people like me, I just want to be a regular person. I came from such humble beginnings. I don't know how to be. I feel awkward around people that pretend to be celebrities. I don't like the way some of them sound.
Right now with Takeoff being killed, how does that make you feel? And you know, it's been a lot of rappers over the last 10 years, even more, that have been killed. How does that make you feel?
Well, it hit different for me because I don't think people care. I think in a week or so they'll forget. This is
Yeah.
another black man. If this we're not looking at how much as black men we devalue each other by how we don't stand up and shout like black women would do if this was a bunch of black women being killed like this. We're the only people that will allow black men to get killed like this and nothing ever happens. Women would stop the world if this was women. The other communities would stop the world. There would be no more nothing until we rectify this situation. And we just go off, and most dudes are going to say this is real nigga shit. That's how most of our culture is going to identify this as.
Now, you played in the NBA. You had that level of attention and notoriety, and then you came into YouTube, and then you had that level of attention and notoriety. Both of them have their goods and their evils in their both particular ways. Coming into YouTube and gaining the notoriety that you gained, and then gaining some of the enemies that you gained, how was that different than gaining the level of attention that you did in the NBA from a security level? Did it make you more paranoid? Did it make you watch your back a little more? Not knowing how motherfuckers think and watching, knowing that you don't even know who knows you?
It was the exact same. One of the guys that come on my YouTube page, he said they're going to actually do a study on my YouTube page one of these days because my YouTube page is a microcosm of what happens in real life. You have a person that gets a more shine than most people, and most people don't do what I did. I saw what happens in this quote unquote black sector. Everybody is eating each other instead of trying to build with each other. So what I said was, there's some things that I lack. I don't know how to edit. I barely know how to work the dang on computer. I didn't come from a generation where we had computers. I don't be on Instagram. So a lot of times when you guys are reaching out to me, if you look back from MySpace to anything else, I never had the internet. I was afraid of the internet. My brothers taught me to be afraid of the internet. So I only got on the internet because he was like, man, you need to tell your story. You need to get on the internet. And so that's what I got on the internet. But it just happened around the time of what Steven Jackson and them were saying. But I just wish people could start building and learn from what I did when I came to the internet. Everybody can get a shot. If you got the light, pass the baton, and you don't got to give nobody nothing. Just give them an opportunity to show other people what they have to offer. Because everybody got to be useful in the room. You know what I mean? And then now, by us not having a riff, now if I say something on my platform that you don't understand or you want to discuss, now you have a direct link to me. Hit me up and say, well, look, I'm not going to disrespect you. Just get on my platform and let's talk about it. That's how we can talk about things in a building way instead of everybody competing. And I hope that people start giving black folks a different price. You know what I mean? Because that's what white folks do. We complain about nepotism, but they help each other out a lot. And I see that a lot of black folks, we charge each other more so than other people sometimes. And so I'm like, my platform, if it pop, I'm gonna let everybody come up and do their thing, come up and get some shine. Let's build with each other, and we don't gotta tear each other down to the point. If we disagree, we can disagree respectfully without F you, F that. You know what I mean? We don't gotta be like that. Right. And so hopefully, hopefully they see some of that side instead of just the jokes and the comic relief that I put in.
So what you got going on? I mean, now I know you're retired now. You have any other things going on outside of basketball that you want to share with the people?
Man, real estate saved my life. Outside of the real estate deals that I did, when those people took some money from me, I'd have been over. And I know a lot of NBA players they're ashamed to come forward, but they work in the back of a warehouse. They're taking night shift jobs so people don't see them because this word celebrity will now allow you to pick on a man for working. So it's a lot. Thank God I don't look at myself as a celebrity because there's not a job that I won't take. There's not something that I won't do and be proud of it because I know that I beat the odds. I beat the prison, the pipeline situation. So I never had ego enough for somebody to trick me off the streets and allow me that I got to prove something to them. A lot of my close friends went to prison, got killed because they focused so much on what somebody else said. And me, I just had tunnel vision. I saw my mother needed help in the area. My father was in prison. And I said, I'm going to do whatever. I didn't just get drafted, and that's what people don't understand. I was an honor roll student, and I was going to go to the University of Florida, signed, sealed, and delivered by my sophomore year. So I don't know what conversations I've had in front of the wrong people, but they don't put people like me in front of you in a good light. And so that's why I've said on YouTube, the people that they put in front of us and that they tell us to like, if I was you guys, I would re-examine them.
Indeed. Man, brother, this was needed. This was important for the culture, for us as men. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for, you know what I mean, being a man and apologizing and doing it the right way. Us apologizing to you. I think this is how shit needs to be done, especially in the culture right now. We're seeing our people dying. Fuck the stigma of rappers and athletes. Our people are out here dying. It's not cool. You know what I'm saying? So for us to be able to do this, I hope people can learn from it. And now we have a relationship from here, brother. So we appreciate you, man. Sir. Kwame Brown. If you let the people know where they can find you, the YouTube platform, and anything else you would like to throw in there at the back end, we appreciate you, brother.
Okay, well, you can go on my Instagram. That's KWAN_LOW. And all of my links to all of my channels are in the bio. And I want to salute to you guys, man, because your channel is what a lot of other channels, including myself, you know, I started off doing a lot of positive stuff, but the attacks kind of made me focus more on the negativity and more on responding to people opposed to doing the content that you guys are doing now. So other YouTube channels can learn and just stay the course and do some of the things you guys are doing. I commend you guys because you guys have been doing a great job. So that's why I asked you, could I play that one on my channel? Because it ain't just about the celebrity gossip for you guys. It's about letting everybody come up. It's not like you're sharing the same ideals, but you're not afraid to just let people come up from different walks of life and share their piece. So I salute that.
Likewise, brother. Definitely appreciate you, man.
Indeed, man. Salute to you, brother. Kwame Brown on the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. Appreciate you, brother.
Thanks,
anytime, man.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Amen.